Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Batman issue 38. I thought I'd get caught up on my Batmans. I'm pretty far behind, but after the last couple of issues that I reviewed, I wasn't exactly real eager to do it. So this is written by Tom King, with pencils and inks by Travis Moore. Julia Brusco did colors, Clayton Cowles letters, Tim Sale and Dave Stewart did the cover, Maggie Howell was the assistant editor, and James Rich editor. So we start off with this kid finding out that his parents were murdered in some brutal fashion in their kitchen or whatever. His butler calls him Master Bruce for some reason. You're not clear on that at the beginning, but they explain it later. So anyway, the kid's all upset and he's talking to Bruce Wayne. Well, there's a couple more murders, and this time Batman goes and talks to Zasz because it looks like Zaz's work, and they find this letter, which apparently the prison guards thought was junk mail, so they just let it go through. Okay. And it turns out to be the worst anadrome in the history of anadromes, and there's a little callback to Denny O'Neil, who used to write and edit Batman books. It's a callback in the laziest possible fashion. So then we find some more dead bodies. This time it's Zaz's parents. That's when Batman establishes this definitely wasn't him. Then we find some more bodies. It points to Two-Face, but again, it's flawed and easily figured out that it's not him. But Batman finds Mr. Taylor, the butler, to the kid, and the guy tries to take off, but Batman catches him and gets some information out of him. He confesses that he did the killings, and then Batman cracks the code that this seems almost childish, and he reinterrogates the butler and finds out the kid did it, or put him up to it rather. So this out-of-shape middle-aged guy killed like 8 people and framed well-known supervillains for it. Well, Batman tries to talk to the kid, but the kid tries to identify himself as Bruce Wayne, and it ends kind of there. It was one of the most mundane, boring comic books I've read in a long time. It was technically well written, much the same way that the instructions on how to assemble my stereo were back in the 1980s. It was technically written well because I understood what it was getting at, but it was incredibly boring. I did not feel any kind of sense of suspense or intrigue or action. It was just sort of going through the motions. It was like watching a reenactment of a crime on Investigation Discovery, but without the volume or the subtitles or anything like that. It was just kind of like going through the paces. And I was like, okay, this happened. That's nice. So I was bored. I was bored the entire time. The art is really good. I do like the art style quite a bit. They did a really good job on that. The buildings look like they're Google images like usual, but aside from that, pretty well done. And there's a sneak preview for Sideways, which I didn't care for. But overall, it wasn't worth $3 at all. I wouldn't have paid $1 for this. This was like 50 cents of entertainment to me. And that's just because the art was pretty. I would pass on this one. I'm not impressed with Tom King. The previous issues I read of his were absolutely stupid. And it appears to be a trend. But since the wedding issue just came out, I wanted to get caught up. And wow, do I regret this. This is going to be like pulling teeth if it's going to be this boring. So I would skip this one. That's my recommendation. Hopefully the other issues get better. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing so you don't miss future reviews. And we hope to see you on the next one.